in September. Seems a bit early for 6-pointers, but Darlington really had to make sure they kept ahead of those basement regulars from Cumbria, Carlisle United. They're still trying to sell a few more seats at the Reynolds Arena as well.
The attendance was 5,800, which means that about another 20,000 people could have been there to see for themselves just why Carlisle United is the worst team in the Football League at the moment. Barry Conlon was completely unmarked in the box to head Darlington's first goal, and completely unmarked in the box to head their second. 2 for Conlon in the opening quarter of an hour. Carlisle rarely made it as far as the Darlington penalty area. When they did, the former Middlesbrough midfielder Mark Somerville missed the target. United are rooted to the bottom of the 3rd division. Surely it's too early to write them off. Conlon could have killed them off before half-time, but his hat-trick chance took him by surprise. And surprisingly, the 2-0 scoreline was the final outcome. Ashley Nichols had been dropped for the previous 2 games. He was denied on his return. A good save by Carlisle keeper Matty Glennon. His opposite number, Andy Collett, didn't have much to do. One moment of confusion from the long throw, one easy gather from the long shot. Mick Tate will be pleased that even with the match won, his team was still hungry for more. Chris Hughes' ball-winning tackle and determined run deserved a goal. A 1-2 with Conlon. Hughes had done the hard part, but the simple tap-in was simply tapped wide. The Quakers finished with 10 men. Referee Fraser Stretton likes a card or two. He'd already shown Gary Pearson one. Pearson's last-minute challenge earned him another 2 cards, yellow and red. But Darlington did have the 3 points.
It was important that we got a win. We've had a few bad results, and you know, if it drags on too long, the confidence drains away from players, and it's hard to put right. But you know, hopefully we can take this result forward, and maybe it'll just turn things around a little bit.
So the boss was happy, although Pearson was less pleased. With hindsight, his first-minute booking had proved costly.
Booked after a minute and sent off with 30 seconds left. I don't think he did anything wrong. It was a pretty tough tackle, but he's played the ball against the player, and you know, I just think it's ridiculous.
Darlington's win against Doncaster was rather more modest by comparison, but no complaints after going a goal down to Jamie Patterson's penalty. Substitute Neil Wainwright was the toast of the Reynolds Arena, taking just 2 minutes to steer in the Quakers' equaliser. And he made sure it's 3 wins in a row at the team's Super Stadium by ramming in the winner. The club is breathing a bit easier these days.
Darlington were doing everything to keep Doncaster out, but then Chris Hughes got too carried away and gave away a needless penalty. Jamie Patterson stepped up to score for the first time this season. Darlington had been looking stale, according to Mick Tate, their manager, so Tate brought on Ian Clark and Neil Wainwright to freshen things up, and Wainwright equalised within a minute of coming on as a substitute. Wainwright was appearing for the first time since the 16th of August, and he made the most of this rare run-out. It was Wainwright who scored again to make it 2-1. Doncaster have only conceded 5 goals this season, but they've now gone 5 games without a win.
Stopped the rot against Darlington. It was York's first point in 4 matches, but Darlington certainly played their part in the North East derby at Bootham Crescent. George headed the opening goal for York on 16 minutes. This was an action-packed match. Darlington decided to mount an aerial bombardment. York keeper Mark Ovendale was at full stretch to keep them out, but he was beaten on the stroke of half-time. Barry Conlon was on the end of Ashley Nichols' cross, and the Quakers had quietened the home fans at the break. Darlington were on the way to their first away point. No more goals, thanks to the woodwork. Liam George was denied a second for City, and Matt Clark saw his effort for Darlington also hit the frame of the goal. It stayed all square, although York had more players at the end. A 2-footed lunge by Gary Pearson had to be punished with his second red card of the campaign. York had to be happy with a point.
Alex Russell with the corner. And towards Steve Woods, and it's gone into the top corner. Steve Woods has got the goal. Well, just for a moment it looked as if it was going to come back off the woodwork then. Forward towards Craig Little, and Darlington immediately back on terms. Now Fowler. Hutchison misdirecting the header. It'll fall for Joe Kufor. Chance for him to get the cross in. Hockley leaving it for David Graham. Oh! What a finish from David Graham. And now Darlington with a chance to break through. Clark Kelty. Wide for either one of the Clarks, really. It's Matt who picks it up. He's got Ian running inside him. Oh, Woods for once slicing it. Ian Clark is in there. Just missing the target. Now Hughes for Nichols. You get the cross in early. Oh, and a good header from Ian Clark on the far post. And that is 2-2. Well, they've been threatening. And now that threat has been realised. It was a challenge from behind from Mellanby. He's going to get himself booked, I think. It's a straight red card for Mellanby.
Well, plenty of football. Now, I'm sure you all remember, after Darlington lost their opening game at the Reynolds Arena, Mr. Beresford told us how worried he was about the Quakers. Well, it certainly did the trick. Yesterday, against Boston, Mick Tate's team made it 4 wins in a row at their new Super Stadium. It took a while for the goals, but that was mainly because of an outstanding display by the woodwork. Quakers' former striker Peter Duffield, first to find out the crossbar was in top form. At the other end, it was the left-hand post that refused to be beaten. Barry Conlon also denied after a sharp turn and strike, but once Darlington got going, there was no stopping them. Conlon might claim he's worked this free-kick routine in training, but it came off a treat for Craig Liddell, who opened the scoring after 65 minutes. Then it was back to the crossbar routine. Boston defender Mark Greaves unlucky to miss out, and it took an almighty scramble before the home defence finally booted the ball clear. But the Quakers were soon in full control. Chris Hughes led this attack, finding Matt Clark, who produced an excellent touch and unstoppable finish. Now, the best way to fill a new stadium is produce the goods on the pitch. And goal number 3 will have the fans coming back for more. Superb solo run from Ian Clark and a real touch of class to find the net. 3-0 Darlington, and that's a lot more like it now.
I thought we could have been a couple of goals up at half-time. It wasn't a fluent first half, but I thought we'd created enough chances to be a couple of goals up. But they eventually came in the second half, and I think with a few lads could have got a few more goals to than him today.
To be fair to John, you went back there yesterday and it was a lot better, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I was overcritical, but I thought I had right to be in the first game of the season. They let a lot of people down because everybody got high expectations. But you go yesterday, as Mick Tate said, their first half weren't as fluent as we would like, but it didn't bother me because they got a great shape about themselves. The players all knew what they were trying to do. Boston came and made it difficult. Second half, the game opens up, people get tired, and they had a better quality. Once they went 1-2 up front, they relaxed, and they showed good football. And as I said, they're back in winning ways, and I can see them going further. I'd be interested to see if they can make the playoffs. They need a couple of signings, though, and I'm hoping Joe just gives Mick that opportunity.
And thousands of people are being given the chance to show their support for the families of 4 military policemen from the region who were killed in Iraq. A special football match is being held in Darlington tomorrow, in which a team of TV celebrities will play a side made up of former club players and military police.
Getting ready for the big match. Thousands of people are expected at the Reynolds Arena in Darlington for a fundraising soccer game between TV celebrities and a team of military policemen and ex-Darlington footballers. In the stands will be the families of all 4 military policemen from our region killed in Iraq over the past few months.
We've got Tyrone from Coronation Street, Ashley, Aidan, Patrick. Hopefully Les Battersby is going to turn up and have a run out, which will be quite nice. We've got Tony Hutchinson coming up from Holyhawks with a couple of other guys from Holyhawks. We've got the gentleman who plays Dr. Owen Davies in Holby City. He's coming and playing again. We've got lads from Byker Grove coming as well. So all in all, I think there's going to be about 22, 23 guys off the TV who are going to be playing. So it's going to be a great day.
Corporal Paul Long from South Shields died alongside Lance Corporal Ben Hyde from North Allerton and Corporal Simon Miller from Washington after being trapped by a mob in a police station in Basra. Sergeant Major Colin Wall from Crawleyside in County Durham was killed when his army vehicle was ambushed in the same Iraqi town. The money raised at the game will go towards a fund for their families and for those of the 5 other Red Caps who died in the Gulf.
We all know what the situation's like out there. You know, they're really doing a tough, dangerous job, and, you know, we've took casualties. And I just think it's a good way of putting something from the community back into our services where, you know, it richly deserves, because after all, they're there for us.
The military police believe that a show of moral support will be invaluable to the families of the North East men who died.
And television celebrities have been showing off their football skills to help raise money for the families of North East military policemen killed in Iraq. Stars from Coronation Street, Brookside and Hollyoaks took part in a charity game at the Reynolds Arena, home of Darlington FC. They took on a team from the military police. The final score was 7-1 to the TV All-Stars. And we'll have a full report on the event in North East Tonight, tomorrow at 6.
Reynolds playing by his own rules.